The emergency room doors burst open at 2:47 a.m. A young woman in borrowed scrubs walked in, a resume showing 6 months of temp work. The head nurse barely looked up. "You're late," she muttered. But something about the way this woman moved, silent, efficient, scanning every exit, made the security guard pause. By dawn, a convoy of black SUVs would surround the hospital, and everyone would learn that the quiet temp in the corner wasn't who she claimed to be. The question was, would they learn it in time? Sarah Chen kept her head down as she restocked the supply cart. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. The smell of bleach and coffee mixed in the air of St. Catherine's Hospital. "The temp is here," someone whispered. She'd heard it before. 16 hospitals in 3 years? Always the outsider. Always underestimated. Dr. Marcus Webb, the ER director, brushed past her without a word. His white coat was pristine. His ego was bigger. "Where's my coffee?" He barked at a nurse. Sarah said nothing. She organized bandages by size, her movements precise. Mechanical almost. "You're Sarah, right?" A young nurse named Amy approached. "They said you worked at County General before this?" "Just filling in," Sarah replied. Her voice was soft, forgettable. Amy smiled. "Well, welcome to chaos. Friday nights are always insane here." Sarah nodded. She'd already memorized the layout. Every exit. Every supply closet. The location of the crash carts. Old habits. The ER was busy, but manageable. A sprained ankle in bed 3. A fever in bed 7. Dr. Webb moved between patients, barking orders. Never saying please or thank you. "The temp can handle the discharge paperwork," he announced. Not looking at Sarah, she took the clipboard. Her fingers didn't tremble, but then the radio crackled. "All units. We have a mass casualty incident. Chemical exposure at the Riverside factory. Multiple victims incoming. E to 7 minutes." The ER erupted into controlled chaos. Nurses ran to prep beds. Dr. Webb's face went pale. "Chemical exposure? What kind?" "Unknown, doctor," the dispatcher replied. Sarah's body went still. Her mind, however, was already 3 steps ahead. She knew that factory. She knew what they manufactured there. And she knew exactly what chemical they were dealing with. But she couldn't say anything. Not yet. Dr. Webb started shouting. "We need to set up decontamination. Get hazmat suits. Where are the antidotes?" He was panicking. The staff felt it. Sarah moved to the supply room. Her hands found the atrapian and pralidoxim without looking. She knew the dosages. She'd administered them in worse conditions. Desert heat, gunfire, screaming. "What are you doing?" Amy appeared behind her. "Getting ready," Sarah said simply. The first ambulance arrived. The paramedics rushed a stretcher through the doors. A man convulsed, foam at his mouth. His skin was gray. "We're gonna phosphate poisoning." A paramedic shouted. Dr. Webb froze. Just for a second. But Sarah saw it. The man was dying, and time was running out before you find out what happens next. Make sure you're subscribed to The Secret Medic. You won't want to miss how this unfolds. Hit that subscribe button now. Sarah stepped forward. Her voice was calm. "Steady. He needs atrapian. 2 milligrams. Now." Dr. Webb spun around. "Excuse me? You don't give orders here." Another stretcher crashed through the doors. Then another. The ER was about to become a war zone. And Sarah Chen was the only one who knew how to fight this battle. Asterisk 6 more victims arrived in 3 minutes. The ER was drowning. Dr. Webb's hands shook as he tried to intubate the first patient. He missed the airway twice. Sweat dripped down his forehead. "Someone get me help!" he screamed. Sarah watched from the corner. Every instinct told her to move, to take over. But revealing herself now would create questions she couldn't answer. Another patient seized violently. Nurses scrambled. One dropped a syringe. Amy's voice cracked. "We're losing them." The smell hit Sarah then. Bitter almonds mixed with gasoline. She knew that smell. VX nerve agent, or something close to it. This wasn't an accident. Her jaw tightened. Dr. Webb backed away from a patient, his eyes wide. I don't know what to do. The protocols aren't fast enough, Sarah finished. She moved forward. Her posture changed. Shoulders back, eyes focused. The temp disappeared. Something else emerged. Listen to me carefully, she said, her voice cutting through the chaos. This is organophosphate poisoning, nerve agent category. You have minutes, not hours. Dr. Webb stared at her. Who do you think atropine? 2 milligrams for push. Pralidoxime, 1 gram over 30 minutes. Repeat atropine every 5 minutes until secretions dry. Do it now, or they die. The authority in her voice stopped him cold. Amy grabbed the medications. Should I? Yes, Sarah said. Start with bed 3. He's the most critical. Amy didn't question it. She moved. Sarah turned to another nurse. You. Start a second 4-line on bed 7. Wide bore. He's going to need volume. The nurse hesitated, glancing at Dr. Webb. Now, Sarah's command echoed. The nurse ran. Dr. Webb found his voice. You can't just take over my, You're a temp. Sarah met his eyes. Cold, unflinching. Your ER is about to have 15 dead bodies in it. I can prevent that. Your choice. Outside, sirens wailed. More ambulances. A security guard burst through the doors. Dr. Webb. The police are setting up a perimeter. They're saying this might be terrorism. They're asking about? He stopped. His radio crackled with urgent voices. Sarah's blood went cold. If this was terrorism, if someone had weaponized a nerve agent in the city, then the situation was bigger than this hospital. Much bigger. Everyone listen. Sarah raised her voice. We need to establish contamination zones. Red zone for critical patients. Yellow zone for stable. Green zone for staff. No one crosses zones without decontamination. Senior nurse named Patricia stepped forward. You're giving orders like military. Sarah didn't flinch. Because that's what this is. A mass casualty chemical attack. And if we don't treat it like one, people die. Patricia studied her for a long moment, then nodded. What do you need? Set up the decontamination in the ambulance bay. Cold water, soap, nothing else. Strip all clothing. Bag and tag everything. Patricia moved immediately, pulling 2 other nurses with her. Dr. Webb stood frozen, his authority crumbling. 3 more patients arrived. Sarah directed each one like a chess master. Calm, precise. No wasted movement. Amy worked beside her, ching atropine, monitoring vitals. How do you know all this? Sarah didn't answer. The patient in bed 3 gasped, then coughed. His color improved. The atropine was working, stabilizing. Amy cried. One by one, the patients began to respond. The seizures stopped. Breathing eased. But then the doors opened again. 2 men in dark suits entered. They weren't medical. Their eyes swept the room with professional precision. One spoke into his wrist. They were looking for someone. Sarah's heart rate didn't change. Her face showed nothing, but she knew who they were, and she knew they were looking for her. Asterisk. The taller agent approached the nurse's station. His badge flashed. FBI. We're looking for the person in charge, he said. Dr. Webb straightened his coat, trying to regain composure. That would be me. Dr. Marcus Webb, a director. The agent barely glanced at him. His eyes scanned the room, stopping on each staff member. We need to speak with whoever coordinated the response to the chemical exposure victims, I told you. That's me, Dr. Webb insisted. The agent's partner pointed at Sarah. She's the one giving orders. All eyes turned. Sarah continued checking an IV line. She didn't look up. She's just a temp. Dr. Webb scoffed. She's been helping, but I've been managing the situation. The first agent stepped closer to Sarah. Ma'am, I need to ask you some questions. Sarah finally met his eyes. Patients first. Questions later. This is a federal investigation, and these are dying people, Sarah interrupted. Her voice was ice. You can investigate after I'm done saving them. Agent's jaw tightened. He wasn't used to being dismissed. His partner stepped between them. We have reason to believe this wasn't an accident. The factory that exploded? It was a front. Someone deliberately released a chemical weapon in this city. The room went silent. Sarah's hands didn't stop moving, but her mind raced. A deliberate attack? A front operation. This was coordinated. How many factories? She asked quietly. The agent blinked.
What? How many factories?
Sarah repeated, louder now. If this one was a front, there are others. How many? The agents exchanged glances. That's classified, the taller one said. Sarah turned to face them fully. Then you'd better unclassify it. Because if there are secondary attacks planned, this hospital needs to prepare for mass casualties beyond our current capacity. Who are you? The agent demanded. Before Sarah could answer, the hospital's public address system crackled to life. Attention. All staff. This is a code black. I repeat, code black. The hospital is now under lockdown. No one enters or exits. Amy grabbed Sarah's arm. Code black? What does that mean? Terrorism lockdown, Patricia answered, her face pale. Outside, the sound of heavy vehicles rolled up. Through the windows, Sarah could see military trucks. Men in hazmat suits, weapons. Dr. Webb's phone rang. He answered, his face going white. Yes. Yes, I understand. Hung up. The National Guard is taking over the perimeter. The CDC is sending a team. The FBI agent's radio buzzed. He listened. Then his expression hardened. We have confirmation. 2 more locations just reported chemical exposure. Downtown in the Harbor District. Panic rippled through the staff. That's 3 simultaneous attacks, someone whispered. Sarah closed her eyes for just a moment. 3 points. Triangulation. This was a coordinated strike on the cities. Infrastructure, medical transportation, harbor. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. Need to evacuate the hospital, Dr. Webb said, his voice shaking. No, Sarah said firmly. What do you mean no? There could be more attacks. If you evacuate, you'll have critical patients dying in the street. The attackers want chaos. They want overwhelmed systems. You give them that and you're playing their game. The FBI agent studied her carefully. You talk like military. Sarah didn't respond. Amy's voice was small. Sarah, how do you know all this? The doors burst open again. This time, it wasn't patients. A woman in a black tactical vest entered, flanked by 4 armed soldiers. She had a star on her collar, a general's star. Everyone froze. The general's eyes swept the room and landed on Sarah. Someone want to tell me, the general said slowly, why Colonel Chen is working as a temp nurse instead of reporting for her briefing at Northcom? The room exploded into shocked whispers. Dr. Webb's mouth hung open. Amy stepped back. Staring at Sarah like she'd never seen her before, Sarah stood perfectly still. Her cover was blown, but the general wasn't done. Colonel, she said, her voice sharp. You've been a walled for 6 months? You want to explain why? Asterisk Sarah Chen didn't move, didn't flinch. General Morrison, she said quietly. With respect, I left active duty 6 months ago. I submitted my discharge paperwork. The general's expression was stone. Paperwork that was never approved. You're still active. You're still under orders. And you disappeared. Dr. Webb found his voice. Colonel. She's a colonel? Not just any colonel, one of the soldiers murmured. That's the ghost medic. Amy's eyes went wide. The what? The general silenced them with a look. Everyone except essential personnel, out. Now. The FBI agents didn't move. General, this is our jurisdiction. This became Department of Defense jurisdiction the moment Nerve Agent was deployed on American soil. General Morrison cut them off. You can brief me outside. The agents left. But not happily. Most of the nurses filtered out. Casting shocked glances at Sarah, only Amy, Patricia, and Dr. Webb remained with the patients. General Morrison stepped closer to Sarah. You know why I'm here? The attacks? Sarah said. The attacks, the general confirmed. 3 simultaneous strikes. VX derivative. Military grade. And the signature matches operations you've encountered before? Sarah's jaw tightened. Kravchenko, the name hung in the air like poison. You thought he was dead, the general said. You thought he was dead? You were there in Kandahar when we hit his facility. I saw the building collapse, Sarah replied, her voice hollow. Then you saw wrong, because his network just hit 3 American cities simultaneously. Amy couldn't stay quiet. Who's Kravchenko? Sarah didn't turn around. A chemical weapons dealer. Former Soviet scientist. He's been selling to terrorist organizations for 15 years. And you hunted him, the general added. For 3 years. You were part of a joint task force. Special Operations Medical Support. You saved 17 operators during a chemical attack in Syria. 23 more in Iraq. You earned that star the hard way, Colonel. Dr. Webb sank into a chair. Your special operations? Was, Sarah corrected. I'm done with that life. Clearly not, General Morrison said sharply. Because that life just followed you here. Kravchenko knows you're alive. And these attacks? They're not random. He's sending a message. Sarah's blood ran cold. What do you mean? The general pulled out a tablet, showing aerial photos of the 3 attack sites. Look at the locations. Really look? Sarah studied the images. The factory, the harbor, the downtown transit station. Her breath caught. They formed a pattern, a triangle. And at the center, this hospital, she whispered. The general confirmed. You're the target, Colonel. He knows you're here, and he's boxed you in. Outside, sirens wailed. Helicopters thundered overhead. Patricia moved closer. If she's the target, then we're all in danger. You were in danger the moment she walked through those doors, the general said coldly. But you're also alive because she did. Without her, every victim who came through here tonight would be dead. Dr. Webb stood up, his face red. You used us. You put this entire hospital at risk. Sarah finally turned to face him. I didn't know he was alive. I didn't know he'd found me. I came here to disappear. To be normal? Normal? Amy's voice cracked. You're a decorated war hero, and you're working as a temp? Because I'm tired, Sarah said, and for the first time, emotion broke through. I'm tired of war, of death, of watching people die while I try to save them. I wanted to help people without. An explosion rocked the building. The lights flickered. Screaming erupted from somewhere. Above, General Morrison's radio exploded with chatter. Explosion on the 3rd floor? Repeat, explosion on 3rd floor. We have casualties. Sarah was already moving. She grabbed a crash cart, her training taking over. Colonel, you need to evacuate. The general shouted. Not while there are patients in this building, Sarah called back. Amy ran after her. I'm coming with you. Amy, no. You're not doing this alone. They hit the stairwell. Smoke poured down from above. The smell of burning plastic and something else. Something chemical. Sarah's mind raced. The explosion was strategic. Timed. Kravchenko wasn't trying to kill her. He was trying to force her into the open, and it was working. They reached the 3rd floor. The damage was extensive. A section of the wall was blown out. Patients lay scattered, some crying, some unconscious. Nurses and doctors stumbled through the smoke, coughing, disoriented. And in the center of the destruction, sitting calmly on a hospital bed, was a man in a dark coat. He smiled when he saw Sarah.
Hello?
Colonel Chen, he said in a thick accent. I've been waiting for you. Asterisk. Sarah pushed Amy behind her. Get the patients out. Now. But now, Amy. The young nurse ran, grabbing the nearest patient, calling for help. The man in the dark coat stood slowly. He was thin, pale, with eyes that had seen too much death. You don't remember me, do you? Sarah studied his face. Then recognition hit. Kandahar. You were in the facility. I was the test subject, he said. Subject 17. You gave me the antidote. You saved my life while your team killed everyone else. We shut down a chemical weapons lab, Sarah said coldly. We saved thousands of lives. You destroyed my purpose, he hissed. Kravchenko gave me meaning. He showed me that weakness could be burned away. That pain could be transcended. He turned you into a weapon. He turned me into a message, the man corrected. He pulled something from his coat, a vial, green liquid. This is VX7, Kravchenko's newest creation. One drop could kill everyone in this building in under 5 minutes. Sarah's mind raced through scenarios. Tackle him, the vial breaks. Shoot him, same result. Negotiate, he releases it anyway. What do you want? She asked. Kravchenko wants you to know that hiding is over. That wherever you run, he will find you. That everyone you try to save will die because of you. I'm not hiding anymore, Sarah said. The man's smile widened. Good. Then you'll come with me. Not happening. Then everyone dies. His thumb moved toward the vial's cap. Footsteps thundered up the stairwell. General Morrison and her soldiers? Don't. Sarah shouted. He's armed with VX7. The soldiers froze. The man laughed. You see? This is what Kravchenko taught me. Control through fear. Power through death. You're wrong, Sarah said quietly. Kravchenko didn't teach you power. He taught you slavery. You're here to die for him while he sits somewhere safe. The man's smile faltered. You think you're his message? Sarah continued. You're his suicide bomber. He sent you here knowing you wouldn't leave alive. You're disposable to him. No, the man whispered. No, I'm valuable. He said he lied. Sarah cut him off. Because that's what he does. He finds broken people and uses them until they're dead. I've seen it 100 times. The man's hand trembled. The vial shook. Everyone held their breath. I saved your life once, Sarah said softly. Let me save it again. You don't have to die for him. For a moment, something human flickered in the man's eyes. Doubt, fear, hope. Then his radio crackled. A voice in Russian. Sarah caught only pieces. Complete the mission. Prove your worth. The humanity vanished. He's watching, the man said. He's always watching. His thumb pressed the cap. Sarah moved. Years of training compressed into a single second. She grabbed his wrist, twisted it up and away. The vial flew from his hand, spinning through the air. Time slowed. The vial arced toward the floor. A soldier dove. Catching it inches from impact, Sarah drove her knee into the man's stomach, followed by an elbow to his temple. He crumpled. Soldiers swarmed him, zip-tying his hands. The soldier held up the vial intact. Secure. Everyone exhaled. General Morrison approached Sarah. That was reckless. That was necessary, Sarah replied. Amy emerged from behind a corner, eyes wide. Is it over? No, Sarah said. This was just the opening move. The general's radio crackled again. General, we have a situation. Black SUV approaching the perimeter. Driver claims to have information about Kravchenko. Says he'll only speak to Colonel Chen. Sarah and the general exchanged looks. It's a trap, the general said. Everything with Kravchenko is a trap, Sarah agreed. But we still have to spring it. They returned to the first floor. The ER had been evacuated. Only essential personnel remained. Dr. Webb stood near the entrance, his worldview shattered. You saved us, he said quietly as Sarah passed. I've been running this for 10 years and I froze. But you knew exactly what to do. Sarah paused. You're a good doctor, Dr. Webb. But this wasn't a medical emergency. It was a military operation. Different training. I'm sorry, he said. For how I treated you? For not seeing you saw a temp, Sarah interrupted. That's what I wanted you to see. Outside, the black SUV sat idling. Armed soldiers surrounded it. A man stepped out. Expensive suit. Graying hair. Diplomatic plates. Sarah's blood froze. Ambassador Volkov. The general breathed. This just went international, the ambassador smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. General Morrison. Colonel Chen, we have much to discuss. Where is Kravchenko? Sarah demanded. The ambassador's smile widened. Closer than you think, Colonel. Much closer. And then the hospital's power went out. Every light, every machine, everything. In the darkness, the ambassador's voice echoed. Let the real game begin. Asterisk emergency lights flickered on, bathing everything in red. Sarah's hand went to the sidearm she no longer carried. Old instincts. She'd given up weapons when she left the service. The soldiers raised their rifles at the ambassador. I wouldn't, he said calmly. I have diplomatic immunity. And I'm here under a flag of truce. Truce. General Morrison spat. You just helped launch a chemical attack on American soil. Did I? The ambassador's eyebrow raised. Prove it. I'm simply a concerned diplomat offering information about a wanted criminal. Sarah stepped forward. What does Kravchenko want? What he's always wanted. Colonel, recognition, respect, the world to acknowledge his genius. He's a mass murderer. He's a scientist who sees beyond conventional morality, the ambassador corrected. And he has a message for you. The ambassador held up his phone. A video began playing. The screen showed a warehouse, dark, cold, and sitting in the center, illuminated by a single light, was Kravchenko himself. Older now, scarred, but his eyes held the same madness Sarah remembered. Colonel Chen, his recorded voice echoed. You've been running from me? Hiding in hospitals, pretending to be ordinary? But you can never be ordinary. You're like me. Shaped by war, defined by it. Sarah's jaw tightened. I have positioned 12 more chemical devices throughout the city, Kravchenko continued. They will detonate in 6 hours unless you meet my demands. The general cursed under her breath. No, my demand is simple, Kravchenko said. You, Colonel Chen. In exchange, the city lives. You have 3 hours to reach the coordinates I've sent to Ambassador Volkov. Come alone. Come unarmed. And I'll deactivate the devices. The video ended. Silence. He's lying, the general said. He'll kill you and detonate the devices anyway. Probably, Sarah agreed. You can't seriously be considering this. Sarah met her eyes. You have a better option? We have bomb squads, hazmat teams, the entire military searching a city of 3 million people in 6 hours. You'll never find all 12. Sarah turned to the ambassador. Send me the coordinates. No. Amy's voice rang out. She pushed through the soldiers. You can't just sacrifice yourself. Amy, go back. No. Tears streamed down the young nurse's face. You taught me tonight. You showed me what real courage looks like. Real leadership. You don't get to throw that away. Sarah's expression softened. Amy. Tell them, Amy insisted. Tell them what you told me while we were treating patients. About why you became a medic. Sarah closed her eyes. A memory surfaced. Her sister. A car accident. 15 years ago, a hospital. And Sarah, helpless, watching her die because she didn't know how to save her. I became a medic because I couldn't save someone I loved, Sarah said quietly. And I've spent every day since trying to make up for it. Trying to save everyone else. But you can't save everyone, Amy said. You taught me that too. Sometimes you have to let others help. The general's phone buzzed. She answered, listened, and her expression changed. Stand by, she looked at Sarah. Intelligence just cracked Kravchenko's communication network. We have his location. Where? Sarah demanded. Here, the general said. He's in this hospital. Has been the whole time? The world tilted? That's impossible, Dr. Webb said. We'd know, the sub-basement, Patricia interrupted, her face pale. The old morgue. It was sealed off after the renovation. No one goes down there. Sarah was already moving. Soldiers fell in behind her. They descended for flights of stairs. The air grew cold, stale. The door to the sub-basement was reinforced steel. Recently installed? Breach it, the general ordered. 2 soldiers placed charges. Everyone took cover. The explosion was controlled, precise. The door blew inward. Sarah entered first, a weapon borrowed from a soldier now in her hands. The old morgue had been converted into a laboratory. Equipment hummed. Monitors glowed, and sitting at a workstation was Kravchenko. He didn't turn around. "Colonel Chen, right on time? It's over," Sarah said. "Is it?" Kravchenko finally turned. He looked older, tired, but his smile was sharp. "I have a dead man's switch. I release it, the city dies. You're bluffing, am I?" He held up a device. "One button, Colonel. That's all it takes." Sarah raised her weapon. "Then we both die." "You won't shoot me," Kravchenko said confidently. "You're a medic, a healer. It's not in your nature." Sarah's finger tightened on the trigger. "You don't know what I'm capable of?" "I know exactly what you're capable of," Kravchenko replied. "I've studied you for years. Every mission, every save, every patient you couldn't let go." "You're predictable, Colonel. Soft, weak. You're wrong," a new voice said. General Morrison stepped into view, holding a tablet. "We've already disarmed 9 of the devices. The FBI found 3 more. Your network is compromised. Your assets are captured." "It's over, Kravchenko." The scientist's smile faltered. "You underestimated her," the general continued. "You thought she was alone? But Colonel Chen never works alone. She builds teams. She trains people. She inspires loyalty." Kravchenko's thumb hovered over the button. "You've lost," Sarah said quietly. "Stand down." For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Kravchenko's shoulders sagged. The device fell from his hand. Soldiers swarmed him, taking him down. Securing him, it was over. Sarah lowered her weapon, her hands finally shaking. The general approached. "Hell of a night, Colonel." "I'm not a colonel anymore," Sarah said. "I'm just a nurse." "Oh," the general corrected. "You're both, and we need people like you. Not hiding in hospitals, but leading, teaching, making a difference." Sarah looked back up the stairs. Amy stood at the top, waiting, maybe, Sarah said softly. 3 days later, the hospital held a ceremony. Dignitaries filled the room. Press cameras flashed. Director of the FBI stood at the podium. "For exceptional heroism and life-saving actions during a terrorist attack, I present this commendation to Sarah Chen." Dr. Webb was there, humble now. Amy beamed with pride. Patricia saluted, but Sarah stood in her simple scrubs, comfortable with the attention. After the ceremony, Amy found her. "So, are you staying?" Sarah looked around the ER. "Yeah," she said. "I think I am." "As a temp?" Sarah smiled. "As whatever they need me to be." Because in the end, it wasn't about the rank. It wasn't about the medals. It was about saving lives, one patient at a time. And Sarah Chen was exactly where she needed to be.